What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Necked Out Podcast. I'm your host, Usika, and today is a very special day because, one, I'm not doing this on fucking Zoom anymore because I already explained that Zoom is fucking trash. But thank you to all the special guests that came on Zoom anyway. So, today is a great day because I actually get to have a human-to-human interaction with somebody besides my girlfriend and my family. But don't worry. We are socially distanced. There's like 12 feet in between us?
Probably a little bit more.
Yeah, there's like a little more than 12 feet in between us. We're in a very open area, so we obviously did our due diligence. So you know, Usika is responsible. I'm not an irresponsible person, right? Plus, I'm half vaccinated, so hit me up. I'm just kidding.
Once I got my second dose.
Yeah. Once I have my second dose. But so let me introduce my special guest for today. My special guest is one of the fucking craziest athletic people I've ever known in my life. I don't know how he fucking does it. There's some kind of superior gene inside him. And once we get into the podcast, you guys will understand why, right? But he is one of my dearest friends. He is a fucking amazing person, amazing coach, amazing friend. Let me introduce to you guys the one and only Joseemar Correas.
Thank you.
So Joseemar, that's your legal name.
Yeah.
But if people know Joseemar, they know you have like 1,000 different names.
Ooh.
So if you want to briefly go through some of your nicknames out there.
All right. So if we go back to the days because it's you and I, right?
Yep.
So a big one that people knew me back in high school was Casimiro.
That's the most popular.
That was the probably most popular one because I still have people that call me that, or Casi, which is short for Casimiro.
Exactly.
But those are the two from. If you call me that, we go back to high school for sure. You know, we're close because there's people that still call me that. You know, and then everything that kind of fell in between with love. You know, and I say this with love.
Yeah.
Negro always comes in.
Yeah. And that's not like a racist thing, guys.
It's just
you
know, nothing at all. Like, you know, it's all with love. That's what I'm saying. But with cariño, that you have Mr. J, Mr. Joseemar, Coach Joseemar.
Coach Joseemar for a
Coach
good while.
Joseemar is
Still
like
there.
probably that one's getting big. I think that one's getting bigger than all the other ones now.
I think because maybe you're building up your professional portfolio more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like El Casimiro's right here, right?
Yeah.
El Gran Casi. That's another
EGC,
one that I like.
the EGC.
The EGC. And
Or
then
LEGC.
Mr. C? No. Sorry.
Oh, Coach Joseemar.
Coach Joseemar. Coach Joseemar is coming like up here. So
Coach
you're in that
Joseemar's
balance
been like
now.
2010 to present.
So 11 years. And Casi was when? When was that born?
2008, 7 through 10.
See, but you know what? Casi is that powerful. Because it was only 2 years ahead, right? But it held so much weight for such a long time. If I'm not mistaken, Coach Joseemar, right, has kind of just recently started to come up here. So it's like,
for real.
Which name are you gonna stick with?
And the thing is, it's like, but we're talking about like nicknames. You get me? So when you think Coach Joseemar, is it like that's not so much of a nickname anymore? Like it's almost like that's the name, you know, which is a trip, but it's just so many things.
Question: when you die and you get buried, right, in 1,000 years, because you're gonna live for 1,000 years.
We're gonna have gene editing by then.
Gene
and
editing.
We're gonna have all the mechanics.
So
within us.
then we'll say 2,000 years, right? 2,000. Play it safe. What nickname is going on your gravestone? You got to pick one.
I'd probably say Casi.
Casi?
Casi, because that takes us back.
Yeah.
You know, but if I get to live that 1,000 years, Coach Joseemar might just overshadow. Like it can be bigger, like citywide, statewide. You never know.
Like
you never know.
This man thinks ahead. You
never know. I'm just saying.
Nah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Dude. So Joseemar, obviously we've been friends for a very long time. You know, we go back to high school. We played on the same team. We saw a lot of victories, a lot of defeats,
We
a
did
lot
too.
of great moments. And I would say this, obviously me and you met through sports, and I feel like sports is one of those things that is just universal. It's a lot like music, but with music, you have the choice of, you know, going the individual route or being in a band or being with the group, right? And with sports, the majority of like of popular sports require you to work with other people, right? So if you're put into sports at a very young age, you're forced to get along with Juanito or
Whoever.
Danilo or whatever, even if you hate his guts, you're on the same team and you have to have his back on the field.
Yep.
So it teaches you a certain camaraderie between
Say, yeah.
people, right? And so, you know, you've been through a shit ton of teams, obviously. You've been in sports your whole life. What is something that you want to instill, you know, in, like, let's say your future kids, right? What's the one thing you want to tell them or instill them about sports? You know, like kind of stressing maybe the importance, if you want to do that at all.
If we're talking about sports in general, too, this is just my kids or whoever, or are we just talking specifically to
Like
my
your
kids?
kids, like
My kids.
Gassi
Okay.
Juniors.
Oh my God. Okay, if I'm talking to them, Jesus, I feel whoever's coming after me, they're gonna be way better than whatever
Yeah.
I did, which is scary.
Yeah.
But cool. Willing,
Crossing
please,
fingers.
please,
Get a
Jesus.
Messi. Have a
But,
birth of Messi.
my God. But it was just be like, sport is, regardless what it is, sport is who can win, who can be the best one, either strategy, athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sport is, because if not, it becomes play.
Mm.
In order for it to become sport, there has to be an end goal.
Yeah.
You get me? So in order, it's just you have to try to be the best, but there's people that are gonna be better than you out there.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge to try to achieve too. But instilling that and the fact of you have to be okay with kind of where you're at.
Yeah.
But fighting the ego at that point.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of kids get to that point. Like if they get introduced into sports at a young age, they come to a crossroads at some point where they're like, man, fuck this game. I don't fucking care anymore, you know? Or they get like,
this my
maybe
shit.
there's some epiphany that happens, or they get embarrassed on the field and they're like, I didn't like that feeling. I'm going to get better. I'm going to whoop his ass.
That and like you said, like you're like fuck this sport. Like I'll share you mine. I tried baseball once, like one game, like official baseball game. I
Mhm.
was maybe like 10 years old, and dude, I was wearing shin guards. I was wearing.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm not kidding. I was wearing shin guards under my baseball pants because I was like, why not? Like I know what they're for.
Somebody might cleat me.
No,
Someone
just
might
the
slap-
ball.
Oh my God.
I don't understand how people at that age trusted someone their age to throw the ball at them.
That is true.
Like good
Yeah.
and not hit you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was just like, and then I didn't do so well, and
It was a one-time thing.
it was just like a one-time thing. I also like basketball, an official basketball game when I was
Mhm.
little. Yeah, I played one game. I was just every time the ball came to me, I was lobbing threes because I really didn't know how to play basketball.
So you
it was
were
just-
Steph Curry before Steph Curry.
No, I wish.
Oh, you were
I'll-
Shaq
no,
and
I'll-
Steph Curry's
I'll-
body?
Yeah, I was just launching them. So I
Lobbing
knew
them up.
everybody hated me because I didn't understand. So it was like those embarrassing moments.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And,
What-
and one of our good friends, Oscar,
Oh,
we,
yeah,
we,
yeah.
we nicknamed him
Bisco.
Bisco. He just had a baby.
That is true.
Congrats to him.
Congrats to
man.
Bisco.
Yeah.
And congrats to Emo. Because
Emo,
Emo's
he's
going to have a
yeah.
baby. He's going to have baby.
Yeah, he's also they're expecting. That's cool,
Hey, dog,
man. It's cool.
let's stop this talk. I'm feeling old. I'm starting to feel old. Because we're hitting our 30s soon. Just so you know that, right?
Around the
and
corner.
And we have the same birth month.
We do.
So that's a little scary.
We do.
So when
We're-
you get older, I'm like, damn, I'm getting older too. But
yeah,
anyway.
but I feel as we're getting older, kind of the timeline is extending, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
also I feel like our generation, at least what are we
I
the
think we're millennials. Yeah.
millennials. I think we take care of ourselves pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not so confident about these Zoomers with all popping all this Xanax.
Oh
and
my
shit.
God. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because in the previous episode, right, I talked about, you know how we pay taxes, right? For everything, right? For parks, for dumbass. I'm surprised we haven't gotten taxed for air, to be honest.
Hey, the Lorax said it,
I haven't seen it. What do you say?
but if you're gonna see it,
Oh,
But
shit.
but let's just say it's around corporations controlling air.
Oh no, that's not good. Maybe I won't live to be very old then if that's the case. Because I'm gonna go broke paying tax for air,
Right.
especially if the corporations are in charge. But anyway, so in my previous episode, I was talking to one of my guests about how I thought it would be like funny. I was talking seriously in the moment, but it was all centered around a joke. What if we taxed dumbass people? Like whenever they did something stupid, we tax them, and like if they in their mind knew like, okay, I want to do something for Instagram, right? I want to do something for
Gorilla glue.
yeah. That's the exact example I use. I'm like, if you're planning on doing something stupid, you can prepay a tax because here's the thing, and this is where I kind of have a point, right? This is where it might take off. When somebody does something stupid, right? Let's say the Gorilla Glue person, right?
Yeah. The first or the second one?
The most famous one.
I think the most famous one is the first one. The second one was the complete dumbass. It should be fined like 3 times
is he
as
the one,
much.
the one with the cup?
No. It was the Gorilla Glue in the hair, but it was like a week after the original one.
Another one happened?
Yeah, but it was like, oh my god, I didn't know. But it was like, bitch, you fucking
Okay.
you knew what happened.
Well, let's say both of them, right? Let's
Yeah.
assume both of them, right? They know that it's stupid. And so now you have this stupid, maybe they're not stupid, they just had a stupid moment. But for the sake of this argument, we're just going to consider them dumb, right? So you have them in the ER or wherever they're at, and then you're calling in a nurse, a doctor, a specialist, and then probably the ambulance, if they took an ambulance. All these resources are being taken up to attend to this fucking idiot
Yeah.
who put Gorilla Glue in their hair. So that is my like defense behind this dumbass tax.
That I think that's doesn't even go as a tax. It's more like a fine.
Or a
Find those
fine.
find
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
motherfuckers. Because if you're getting taxed, like at that point, it's like every year when I do my taxes, like let me pay my tax for being a dumbass for the year.
Let me put down
Yeah,
$1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 protection insurance on my,
Yeah.
my dumbassness.
See, now you've added now another dimension.
A dumbass
You
insurance.
can get a dumbass insurance. So for people who are like, you know what, I already know myself. I'm a complete moron. I do everything for attention. I hurt myself all the time. Let me just get insurance. You're gonna be my running mate, and we're gonna run on this policy. And let me tell you, we're gonna win all the millennials.
and the Zoomers,
Probably a lot of the Zoomers.
because they're with it.
Yeah, you think? Maybe.
I feel the Zoomers are creative in their own way,
Mm-hmm.
and us as millennials is like, God damn it, you are fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are smart though and are very artistic, but
Yeah.
there's just a whole gap of them that
They're
I question how they're gonna take care of the next generation.
I don't know if they will. And that's one of the things that I'm scared of in terms of having kids and bringing them into this world because, our kids, if we ever have them, like we might have kids. I would say let's just assume we have kids in like when we're 33, 34,
I would
right?
assume by 35.
Yeah. So, we'll say like around 5-6 years.
Even though we can
4
keep
years.
pumping them out till we're like 60, but
We might be able to, like you said, with the genetic editing.
no, we can now. We can keep pumping them out to the speed limit.
So let's say, right, that we pump them out, right? Like they're gonna be behind all the Zoom, the Gen. What I don't even, what's the name? Gen Z. Kid?
Gen Z, but I call them the Zoomers.
The
You know,
Zoom-
if you went to school
The
and you were on Zoom, you're a fucking Zoomer.
You're a Zoomer.
You're a Zoomer.
Okay, so see, I feel like humanity is devolving, right? We're not evolving because we're really stupid, right? Or let's put it this way: the gap between the very smart and common sense people and stupid people is just widening more.
Now, are we just talking about America or the world?
Ooh, that's a good question. I want to say my initial reaction is America.
America is what we experience.
Yeah,
You know.
but I feel like, stupidity is international. It's universal. I'm sure
But
kids
but I know there's certain parts of the world that you
it's even more prevalent.
no, it's just like if you did something stupid or you dishonor your family, it's like,
It's lights out.
and you do it yourself. Like
Well, that's like Japanese culture, isn't
that's
it?
what I'm saying, man. So it's like they don't fuck around.
I respect the Japanese culture a lot, not because of that. I mean, kind of. Well, not really, because I don't want to make it sound like I'm cool with people killing each other.
No, no.
But I respect Japanese because they're well educated, they're disciplined, they're well mannered, they're clean. I know, like I think
Technology is
technology.
insane.
They're
Wait till you see. You're talking about this conversation started with sports.
yeah.
The Olympics
Are
in
you,
Japan are supposed to happen in this year. Hopefully,
do you
the
think?
2020.
Yeah. Do you think they're modifying their athletes, like low key in the background?
Like modifying
Like
biologically. No,
yeah.
that's the Russians. The Russians have been
The
caught
Russians
doing
are
that.
doing that.
They've been doing that. They've been doing this, and they've been banned from performing under their flag for some different sports. Different sports for at least
Mhm.
8 years.
No way. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So the Russians that were supposed to compete in the Olympics, they
Mhm.
just couldn't compete under the Russian flag. They had to compete under the Olympic flag because of the doping incident. Yeah.
I knew about the doping incident. I didn't know that they couldn't compete under their flag. Wow, those fucking Russians.
It's some intense stuff, but that's them being caught. Who else
Yeah.
is doing it, right? And to what extent and level? Because I know like Lance Armstrong, like what if
Yeah.
people are doing stuff like him, but
Yeah.
they just ain't getting caught.
I wonder who. Like who's gonna be the first country that's like creates the
Superhuman,
super athlete, or yeah, like for the superhuman
America,
in
dude,
general.
America right now. How many gold medals? China, I gotta give them the thing, but like
Yeah.
how many
Yeah.
gold medals throughout all sports are they getting? Those are just superhumans. When you have what's her name? Kaylee Lackey. I might have pronounced that wrong.
Mhm.
She's a swimmer.
Okay.
Last Olympics, which was 4 years ago, she was
Mhm.
like 16, 15.
Mhm.
She broke all kinds of records, and I mean
No way.
records. She demolished the old women's record, and she was only 16. So, like, what would have been this last one for her
Yeah.
20s, like Michael Phelps type, but like,
Yeah.
it's America's already
So
building the
we already
superhumans.
have those superhumans then.
What our type of superhumans are.
Well, yeah, because um, I feel like, and this is where like another disparity comes in, right? Where America is creating or have created superhumans from like a scientific level where like they're trying new diets, treatments, and all that stuff, right? But I feel like certain parts of the world are creating superhumans just through like brute strength, like fucking Vikings and shit. Who's the guy from Game of Thrones? The massive dude.
Oh, I don't know his name, but they call him the Mountain.
The
I
Mountain, yeah.
forgot what his real name is.
Yeah.
But that guy's insane. How much he has like the world record weightlifting record. or
I
something
think
like
for a deadlift.
Mhm.
I think that's what it is. But and he's from somewhere in Europe, right? Some part in Europe, close to Russia. I don't fucking know, right? But he's not American. Like he just works on straight fucking old school
Just-
gym routines, just
Yep.
heavy, eat, right? So he's the fucking world record.
I think he's
kicking all
technically
the
the
Americans'
world's
ass.
strongest man.
He's the world's
Technically,
strongest man.
Right now.
Why isn't America the world's strongest or whatever? So that's where I'm like, there could be a little battle.
Well, if you talk about that,
Clash of the Giants.
I think at that point it's genetics. European genetics are a little
Mhm.
bit different than American genetics. Obviously,
Mhm.
America is a melting pot, so
Yeah,
over time
yeah.
things have changed. But
Mhm.
like Europe hasn't been as melted potted as
That's
America,
true.
So
That's true.
at least what they say back in the day, they had like almost giants up there,
Yeah.
and like people that kind of still have those type or
Mm.
very small percentage of like Neanderthal
Neanderthals. Yeah,
genes in them, like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
very small percentage. So, but that's like up there.
That's crazy.
But
That's interesting.
that
point.
becomes genetics, right? But
Yeah.
what Ronaldo versus Messi, like those guys are on a or whoever is above their sport at a next level is
Yeah.
just genetics. You can work so hard, which is Messi versus Ronaldo in my
Yeah,
argument.
yeah.
Ronaldo's the guy that works harder, but like he's up there, and Messi is just the guy that was talented and God
He
given
just has it.
grace.
Yeah.
Like, but
And beautiful hair.
one's GI Joe and the other one's Super Mario.
That's fucking. Okay. I was putting the comparison in my head, and I'm like, okay, Messi is Super Mario. La pulguita, bling.
Yeah.
But see, that's like that. Those are things that I like that fascinate me. It's just like how obviously we might still be around honestly to see like how all these Gen Z kids are gonna grow up like in terms of, and I'm still talking in terms of like athletes, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously America is still the most decorated. I would say the most decorated country in terms of basketball, obviously. I don't know
Different sports.
baseball, different
I think
sports.
the only one that we're behind in sucks soccer, because it's our
Wah,
sport.
wah, wah.
But we're getting there. I feel that there's a bigger interest in soccer now
Yeah,
compared to like when we were playing.
yeah.
Like Jesus, if we had the exposure these kids have
Oh,
now, we would have been badass, dude.
let's dive into that. Let's dive into that. I know some of our listeners might not be soccer fanatics, but I think just just the whole background of how has blown up in the last couple of years, I think can be traced, at least here in America, right? Here in America. In Europe and all over the world, it's been massive forever, right? They live,
Yeah.
breathe, that's all you do, right? But here in America, um, soccer wasn't a massive sport. I would say up until, and I could be wrong, I would say up until David Beckham came to the Galaxy was kind of like the turning point was
Okay.
like they opened up Pandora's box to be like,
Yeah.
oh, we can get a European
Yeah.
to come play here. Oh, okay. So they were like the first ones
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
took a shot in the dark.
Actually, now that you bring it up like that, I would definitely go back to that point, at least
Mhm.
with expanding the interest of soccer in
Mhm.
America.
Yeah.
But I probably would have got boosted up after that World Cup. They did really good in. I think it was
Oh, 2000 and
Brazil, maybe. Was it
uh
Brazil? The one before
no,
that?
no, it was in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, where they played against was it Ghana or
Yeah, like they were up there,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's when we had Landon Donovan and stuff. So I
Mhm.
think that also sparked like the second boost of interest. But
Yeah.
definitely Beckham. Don't get me wrong. There's been foreigners that have been in the MLS,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
like Beckham, it's just he's commercial. You can put him on everything,
Yeah.
and the guy played amazing.
Yeah.
Like even till when he finished,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then even recently to Zlatan Ibrahimovic,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
different people coming in. You have
Yeah.
the Italians coming in now. Now you went from one player in the whole league to a sprinkle of like 5 to 10 now.
Yeah, something like that. And some of them are more like like I do I kind of hate the whole like oh the MLS is a retirement league. There is a little bit of truth to that, unfortunately, but I think the MLS is smart in doing that because they know that attracts a certain kind of crowd,
Yeah,
and when you sell more tickets, right, through that one player, obviously you generate more revenue, and when you generate more revenue,
you
you
can do more.
you can get more
You could do
players,
more. Yeah,
right? And then people love coming to LA, New York, Miami. Why would you not want to play there? Like it's a beautiful, great weather.
and I also think we're starting to get like a younger flow of players.
Hmm.
So that's good. So hopefully we can keep that going.
Yeah,
But in order for that, it comes back to the interest, right?
yeah,
If the
yeah,
interest was or a demand was high in the U.S., these
yeah,
guys would be paying
yeah,
who knows what kind of money for what athlete,
yeah, yeah.
But it comes down to who's willing. To China is probably another retirement league no one talks about. They're paying bang for
Oh yeah,
players to
they're.
go.
Oh yeah, and a lot of countries in the Middle East as well.
Yeah.
There, who was the team that convinced Xavi,
I'm not sure, but I think it was like
or
in
was he?
Qatar or something like that.
Yeah, it's in the Middle. In like, no offense, obviously, but it's not. It's probably not in a very like
Hey, if they're gonna pay
nice
me more
area.
than America's gonna pay me, and my safety is good, like
I don't know. I disagree with that. Me personally. Me personally.
okay, I know.
I would take the hometown discount, like a lot of players
Yeah.
take when they come here.
I'm just assuming there's I'm good with the championships I would have won. If I was at their level,
Yeah.
like already. Let me go make some bread
True.
because they probably
yeah.
have like what. Well, some of them, depending how old they are, like 3 more years of playing.
Yeah.
The one that's gonna be dope, and I'm ready to see them both here is Ronaldo and Messi, man. 'Cause
Oh,
they're,
yeah.
gonna, they're gonna be here.
So you think they're coming here?
Yeah,
And how long? How long do you think? 2 years?
I
3
think
years?
sooner than later. Because Ronaldo's like almost mid 30s. They're
Mhm.
both well, Messi's I think lower on the lower end, but Ronaldo's like mid 30s.
Yeah.
But he's like Zlatan, which is another, genetics. As I'm
Yeah.
saying.
He's a big person.
He is the
He's a big
only player to defy the MLS. He did not come here to
Mhm.
retire.
that
Zlatan came. He did his Zlatan thing.
Steven Gerrard came.
Yeah, was Gerard I think went to coach afterwards. Zlatan.
Yeah.
Zlatan went back to Milan
And he's putting in
and
work.
was playing better than he was playing on Galaxy because
Yeah.
they were feeding him finally properly.
Yeah.
And I want to say Milan was undefeated for
For a good stretch
chunk of games.
Yeah. He was doing work. He was doing work. Um, ok- Man, you got my brain firing everywhere with this talk, bro. But I want to go back to like us when we were
Yeah.
playing, right? Because I do want to talk about like our history and whatnot. We obviously played at John Marshall High School. Shout out to John Marshall High School.
Woo.
Shout out Barristers. I was always kind of like, I wish we had an actual mascot and not a judge as a mascot. I always thought that was
It
funny.
sucked that he was a judge. It's like I would have taken a gavel,
Yeah, like the
like
Marshall Gavels.
yeah, or
That sounds
something.
a lot better than a barrister.
Yeah, or the thing that they really used at the school was like the scales of justice and shit. Like,
Yeah,
give us
yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking scales. Give
Yeah,
us a
yeah,
sword
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, some bullshit. Like, give us a pen, a mighty pen, or some shit like that. They give us barristers, but whatever, right? That's neither here nor there. But we went to John Marshall High School. We graduated the same year,
Yeah.
2010. So we're not very old, but we've been out of high school for more than a decade now, to be honest.
About.
And you know what I just
Over,
realized? Because of the pandemic, we weren't able to have
our 10-year reunion.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too.
Do you know if we're still gonna have that this year?
I
or-
don't know, but I feel the way our class is connected. Like, I feel if someone was to put out a message or anything, after everybody's all vaccinated and stuff,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure 2010 would make it happen.
I'd,
I don't know,
I'd be
but
down to see. It.
I just think that year, because I actually hung out with like different years at that
Mhm.
specific school, or the only school I went to.
Yeah.
But the other years I feel were like more separated as a
Yeah.
whole class compared to like that class of 2010. Like,
Yeah.
I feel 2010 would.
Yeah,
would come
and it's
back.
funny because I don't know how long the whole track system was still in place
I
after
think
we left.
2 years.
I feel like even though
Which LAUSD, if you're listening, it would be the smartest thing to do right now with this current situation. Hire more teachers, put everybody on the track system. Add the Zoom in between.
hybrid,
You can pay me later.
we're gonna copyright it. Then you have to copyright it. You heard it
Okay.
here first, because technically, once it's published on the internet, it's legally yours.
li-
It's legally your idea.
Okay.
So I'm just saying,
Okay.
So you're good.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. We got you. We got our lawyers on top of it right
All right,
now.
there we go. But I'm just saying, like, you saw how that all worked, but that was because there was
Yeah.
less schools back then. I don't think a lot of other school districts actually did the track system, which
Yeah,
I came to realize as an adult when I talked to them, like, what we had to do for school. They're like, what?
yeah,
You didn't go to school the whole year? The whole year? It's like, no. From kindergarten to 12th grade,
Yeah.
I was on the track system, depending what school you went to.
and depending on what track you were too, like
Mm-hmm.
your vacation was like cut weird. I think A track had like the most like pretty good, decent.
A-track was the closest thing to traditional school.
Yeah.
Which was like 2 months in the summer, 2 months in the winter.
Yeah.
Or off in the winter.
Yeah.
Where all the other ones were somewhere in between, but it was always, I came to realize, a 4 month in, 2 months out cycle.
Yeah.
4 months in. So they kind of depended when you started. But some
Yeah.
people were in during the summer
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And then they
That
kind of,
sucked.
right? While we were on vacation in
And
the
we were
summer,
just
they were like in
chilling.
freaking school and shit.
But it sucked for us because when it was when we were practicing for soccer,
We were on vacation.
we were on vacation, and our season started during
Yeah.
winter time, so we had to we didn't have the luxury of already being
Yeah,
at
it's
school,
yeah.
which is fucking trash. But let's go back to that. So we obviously played on the same team. I know you played JV for 1 year or 2 years.
I want to say, I got lucky. It was 1 year. Because then after that, we a good chunk of us got bumped
Okay,
up.
because I remember when I came into JV, you were on varsity.
Yeah.
You were on varsity already, and then obviously the last 2 years we both played varsity.
That was probably our worst varsity year ever. As having a whole bunch, a batch of sophomores try to
Yeah.
hold the varsity high school team back
Yeah.
in that time.
It was fun to
but-
watch.
Hey, but it was one of the funnest seasons ever, though. Like, even though we maybe only won 2 games, maybe 3 games that we got lucky
Yeah.
with preseason.
Yeah.
Actually, we were better in preseason because we went to those tournaments. But in our league, demolished that year.
Just mopped off the stage,
Demolished.
mopped off
It
the
was
field.
so bad. I remember, and we still remember my roommate Aldo. He was on that team.
Yeah.
Like, my last game or our last game of that season against Lincoln High School,
Mhm.
we were defenders. I was a defender, so
Yeah.
I was just like, Coach, put me as a forward. Navarro,
Oh,
put
that's
me
right.
as a forward. I got you. And like, I scored that game.
I remember
So it was
that.
just like, but at that point, it's like
You have
see-
nothing to lose. You're just
yeah,
like,
you
fuck
just
it.
fuck it.
See,
Last
Navarro, you're
game,
doing it all wrong.
our last game was always like the best
Just a
one.
fuck it game?
Yeah, just like fuck it.
Because there's
We're-
no pressure. You're
yeah.
like, fuck it, we're already trash.
unless it was our senior season and we went with that mentality and we didn't realize that we could get better ranking and we actually won that game.
yeah.
Yeah, that one hurt.
That senior year,
that one hurt.
that one stung.
Yeah.
We played against Lockwood, right? No, or
No,
Lock. We
Lock.
played Lock, and we lost 4-0. I remember that season.
Was it 4-0? I thought I gave.
Yeah.
I got us one. Someone
No.
got us one. No, was it
No,
4-0?
it was
No?
4-0.
Okay.
It's engraved in my head.
Well, I guess I
Very-
remembered it slightly different. I repressed it differently. I was like, we might have scored one.
You just wanted to be like, yeah, I think we did.
I think we scored
didn't
one.
get killed.
No. This one's a funnier one because I know you were there. I
Mm.
think earlier that season in preseason, it might have been senior year because I know you were on the team with me too.
Mm-hmm.
We played Huntington Park.
Okay.
And that was the worst ass whooping I ever got in soccer.
We played
Like,
at their
HP,
school, right?
At their
HP?
school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had just gotten their new turf field and
Yeah.
stuff. I want to say, back to repressing memories, right? I want to say put like 8 on us, and we put like 2 or 3. But I remember like my mom, even sometimes randomly to this day.
Damn, she brings it up.
Yeah,
No.
she'll be like, but she doesn't know. She still doesn't know the score of the game.
Oh, okay.
So it's a funny thing because even back then she's like, I'm saying Spanish because
Yes.
better.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like, hey, ¿te recuerdas aquella escuela que jugaron? Aquellos tiempos, like, ¿cuántos goles metieron? I was like, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. No importa, de la nada, fue en el pasado.
Mm.
Or like sometimes, or back in the recent time, ¿y cómo estuvo esa vergueada que les dieron? You know? Yeah, like, but I never told her. It was
shit.
like 8-3 or something like
It
that.
was really bad.
That one was bad.
It was bad. It was demoralizing. I remember that
It
game.
might have been like our first or second game of the season.
Yeah, because we always played the same 3 schools. We played
Poly.
and then we also played
It was like Cleveland,
Cleveland,
Poly, and HP.
and HP. Yeah, and it always rotated each season. So one preseason we'd play away,
Yeah.
and the next one at home or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I do remember that. I remember. Sorry guys, it's gonna turn into like trip down memory lane because we've gone through like all these fucking hilarious moments, like the bus rides.
The bus ride
Were the fucking best because regardless of whether, and I think this was our junior year. I think regardless of whether we won or lost.
I think it started that your first year you were there. Like
so sophomore year then.
Yeah, the first year you were there because it was when we were getting those ass whoopings throughout the city. We only won like 2 games. So regardless, something had to happen. We had to have fun one way or another.
And that phone was on the bus ride. And the bus ride, I'm telling you guys right now, if you have not been on a high school team and ridden the bus after a loss or a win, oh my, it is.
And it has
the
to be,
pinnacle of
and it has to be, and it has to be because I've been in different kind of buses. There's the co-ed buses, but when you're just in your sport,
yeah.
male, and I'm assuming the females have their fun too.
Yeah.
But when you're in one of those male buses,
Shit
single
goes down.
sport,
Yo,
poor bus driver.
yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
There's some that are really down, but then there's other ones that are like, you
They
guys
don't
gotta
like
shut
that
the
shit.
fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna park this bus. Like,
And you guys don't have to walk.
yeah. Like, I love those bus drivers too because they could just put you on check. But I get it, because shit, we worked in the school system too, like, and we had to do those field trips. Like,
Oh my
sit
gosh.
down.
Yeah. There were a couple of times where
down.
the bus driver pulled over, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And she was like, I'm gonna turn this motherfucker around. And she always said the same motherfucker or here.
Yeah.
I don't know who they were, but yeah, so the bus rides were fucking dope. I remember when I'll never forget this fucking game. I think it might have been the last game. We were playing against Eagle Rock.
Okay.
And obviously, for those of you that don't know, if you go to Eagle Rock, I'm sorry, I'm gonna offend you right now, but anytime we played Eagle Rock, it was a guaranteed win. For the most part. I think at least our varsity, our last 2 years, right? It was pretty much a guaranteed win. And there was this one game. I don't know if it was our junior or senior year, but Paisa
Okay.
took a ball
Oh,
to the nuts or the
no,
stomach.
it was to the gut.
It was to the gut.
He took
and
a ball
he took
to
it
the
hard.
gut.
He took it hard, and the wind got knocked out of him. And so he's laying on the floor. Mind you, at this point, we're winning like 5-0, 6-0 by a lot,
it was
right?
a
It's an
lot.
ass whooping. So, and I think I was on the bench already. I think I got taken out. I can't remember. And then all I remember is all of like the whole team just getting around Paisa, and Paisa was just like,
No, yeah. It was more like a, ooh, but like we were just like, what the, like, we can't really help him at this point, but like we were clowning him.
I remember Louis Gorilla Man. He came up and everyone just started mocking him. Like right.
Ooh. Dude, I've only like back to sports
Oh my
stuff,
God.
I've only heard people get their air knocked out of them that bad like twice, and like
Really?
since playing sports, like,
Uh-huh.
and each time it makes me think like, fuck, what next level of your air is out that you're just exhaling out, like, ooh, for like, you can't even take a deep breath
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
like you can't
yeah.
even take a deep
And
breath
that's
in.
so scary because it's like
Yeah,
mentally, I've had the wind knocked out of me a
yeah,
couple times, and mentally, I'm just like, I'm gonna die. It's a wrap for me. This is how I'm gonna die.
yeah.
My body has forgotten how
How to
to breathe,
breathe?
and so that's it. It
Yeah.
just ends right here. So that was a funny ass moment. I'll never forget that. And then on the bus, we would just clown on each other, and I remember Paisa would be the main jokester. He was making fun of everybody.
I
Got
think
it.
it depending on the year. There always was that one guy, because before
Hmm.
that it was my roommate Aldo,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
owl dude. You used to check him out, check his portfolio out. But yeah, he was the one doing all
He was a
the little
clown.
leprechaun laughs and all the little and I try to think of him now, and I tell him like, dude, I can't even recreate that noise he made in the bus.
Can he
Like,
still do it?
no, because he doesn't remember.
Oh,
So I
damn.
want to hear it, but it's like, dude, I can think of it, like, but I can't mimic it, like, or at least a pitch and stuff like
See,
that.
if we had cameras back then, in which we did, but like
But it wasn't the
nobody really,
same.
yeah,
It
nobody
wasn't
really
the
thought like, oh, I'm gonna
same.
record this,
Yeah,
blah
no,
blah
it
blah.
wasn't the same.
I
Like,
will be honest.
uh,
I actually had recorded. I had a phone at the time, and I did record some of that audio
yeah,
because on the bus, I was more just like I would just kick back and
yeah,
just watch you
just
guys shit on each other,
yeah.
and it was fucking hilarious. So I was like, I gotta save some of this. So I think a couple of times I actually recorded some audio in my
Shit.
phone, and I would play it back, like going back home, and I
It's some
was just,
funny
it
shit.
was hilarious.
It's some funny
It
shit.
was
The
fucking
things that were
hilarious.
said there, and shit talking. Sometimes it was even like us mad at each other in the bus,
Yeah,
and like
we got into it.
someone would like finally like say what they had to say type
Yeah,
of things. But most of the time it was people shitting on each other. And this was pre 2010,
yeah,
before people started getting sensitive
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and stuff like that. But everybody had their nickname. They weren't like bad ones. They were
yeah,
probably shit that happened while we were practicing.
yeah,
My nickname was given by the soccer coach because he didn't know how to say my name. He
yeah,
started throwing names out there.
yeah.
And fucking one of them was fucking Casimiro, and then two guys picked it up. He's like, "Who's Casimiro?" They're like, "Oh, fucking the new guy,"
It just sticks.
the new guy, which goes back to the track system, right? We were
Hmm.
talking about the whole track system. When tryouts were happening for soccer, we were on vacation.
Hmm.
So you had to like really know like they were happening to.
Yeah,
So when I came to the school to kind of try out for the team was already going.
yeah,
And it was more like a walk-in tryout
yeah,
type of
yeah.
shit. But
Oh, that was your
my
freshman
first
year.
season,
Freshman
my
year.
first season,
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
So because the same thing, the fucking track system, and I
Yeah,
didn't know there was soccer tryouts. Like
yeah,
I think you have to really be part of the community boards
yeah.
to really know stuff
Like,
like
how do you
that.
even know who the fucking coach is? Like, you're a
Until-
freshman.
yeah,
It's like it
exactly.
was like you either like when I remember.
Well, you know how actually, and it's funny because it goes back to I think the same thing happened. I don't know how. Well, maybe our cultures and us not being up to date with emails and mail,
Mm,
school mail.
oh yeah, we still do that.
I missed my middle school and my high school orientation.
Really?
Yeah.
On
So
purpose or
no,
accidentally? You just didn't
accidentally I
know.
didn't know the dates. Like so, when I got there, like
Yeah.
both times, first day of school, I didn't know the fucking school. Like,
Where am
yeah,
I?
no, like,
On
and it was one
top.
of those things. So when I
Uh-huh.
remember going to Marshall freshman year, first class, you get like your schedule, you find your homeroom or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Um, they give you your thing, and it was like the little yellow paper. Go to whatever. I think my first one was the gym,
Oh, okay.
and then I went up to, now that I know, was a big ass senior. Back to the thing that people don't know is when we went to high school,
Yeah.
or at least our freshman year, the seniors weren't like 18. Some of them fuckers were like 20.
Yeah.
That happened to just be able
Super
to,
seniors.
yeah, like no, like super
Yeah,
senior.
yeah.
Like those motherfuckers were old. So I remember I went up to some dude that was posted up by like the snack shop. I thought he was security. I was like, hey, mister, like, no, I fucking
That's
swear to
hilarious.
God, I was like, hey, mister, do you know like, yeah, do you know where this class is at? And I was still tiny back then, girl, till
Yeah.
like I was like maybe like a sophomore,
Uh,
and then they kind of like all the homies that were there. I guess I didn't realize it till like they all started laughing. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like those are his friends, And I was like, fuck.
A little ass freshman coming
Yeah,
up to
and
us.
then they're like, oh yeah, dude, it's like right there,
That's funny.
and
At least he was nice about it.
yeah, but it didn't click till like the people around them started laughing, and I was like,
Mm.
fuck, here we go, this is how we start again.
Starting off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, and then the same thing happened at King, but I feel like King it wasn't as bad because they weren't
Mhm.
as like it wasn't as cruel as high school.
Yeah.
High school is like the open water. It's like
High school is
go
like,
fend for yourself.
yeah, is like bully shit. That's where like a lot of bully shit happens. Middle school is, it depends,
I
but
don't
middle
feel
school is like
I don't feel
teasing.
fortunately no one, but I think it's fortunately sports.
Yeah.
Well, it can go both ways, but I didn't get teased as much in high school because I feel like I took more of my role in sports
Yeah.
compared to like in middle school, like the middle school bullies and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
were the homies somehow. like
That is true.
like
That is true.
like my middle school bully, like it was funny. Like it wasn't until like I just fucking like snapped one time and fucking like just threw myself on this fucking collar because I was like a small
Oh,
kid
no way.
in middle school, and I was like, "Hey, you motherfucker!"
So you strangled
Yeah,
him?
yeah, well, yeah,
Or
grabbed him from like the like I jumped on his back, like he
like,
was bigger,
oh my God.
like he was a big freaking 13-year-old at the time. So I fucking just like jumped on his back, and I was like,
So you thought if I koala grip this
well, I
guy.
got him from the neck too, so I was like, something has to happen, like like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm probably gonna get my ass kicked after this, but like I'm gonna choke him as long as I can, And I think he tried to like flip me over and stuff, but like I kind of like
You're just like,
I was just
"Nuh-uh.
like,
I'm the gorilla glue
this
right
is
now.
it. This is it. Like this is
Go to sleep,
this is
go
my
to
one
sleep.
my one battle, my one shot, and honestly after that I feel like he like respected me because he was still like once again the homie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna put his name out there, but
Yeah, yeah.
we're good. But yeah, we used to play basketball and stuff
That's
together.
funny.
But like I guess I would assume as a big kid you see the smaller kids around just fucking like pick
Yeah.
on them
He
and
was like,
shit.
whatever.
Yeah, but after that he didn't, and I think around that time 8th grade
Yeah, yeah.
ish, that's when I was like, you know what? Like, I do like basketball. Remember, I said my basketball story. I
Right.
did like basketball in middle
Right.
school, but that's when I learned how to play in middle school. You went to
Mhm.
King too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So King was basketball courts, like maybe a fourth of the school.
Yeah, like it was at least they didn't have no they did have they didn't have the sorry they didn't have the turf field
No, not
at
then.
that point. They still had the shitty ass grass, but yeah,
Right.
like literally half of the PE
PE
area
area.
was basketball courts,
Yeah.
and then we still had the gym.
And all that area was at least a fourth of the school,
Yeah.
like the whole premises.
Pretty
so
much.
so it was like if you wanted to play, if you wanted to get dirty, you played soccer.
Yeah.
Which was more of like once I got to 8th grade was like I play soccer outside. Like
Yeah,
I want to play soccer, but all the homies are playing basketball. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go, and that's when it kind of started.
Yeah, yeah,
And it was
yeah.
like, I don't know if you played. Then they did like little lunchtime futsal, like in the gym.
I don't think so.
You never got to
No,
that.
because at that time,
It might have been because of the track system again.
what track were you in?
I was in middle school. I was B track,
Okay, no, I was in A track.
and then in high school I was A track.
Mhm.
I made it. I made it with the hipsters, man.
You made it with all the cool.
Yeah, well,
cool
luckily
white
we
boys.
we happened to live close to each other too. Like
Yeah.
even before you moved and stuff. Like so we made the cut, bro. We made the cut right on
We're
the
in.
edge.
We're
Yeah.
in, bro.
If you ever saw the map, because I know I did. I was like, I want to know how I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
end up at Belmont.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the fool,
That is true.
Because the fool across the street from where we live, like on the other side of the street, like
Yeah.
they went to Belmont
Yeah,
after
yeah,
middle school.
Or weren't they using like just different addresses? Like their home address was like their cousins or something that went to Marshall or
Once you
whatever.
understood the game,
It was easy.
because even like once I started coaching here, and like I got close with like some families, like that I'm still like close with
Mhm.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like their kids were gonna not go to the best high school. I'm not gonna say which one, but like the best high school they were gonna go to it. But I was like, hey, just use my address.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
we're cool.
Just come
like
pick up your mail.
yeah, or like I'll give it to you when I see you type
Yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like and just all you had to do was put a bill that went there type of
Yeah.
stuff. Shit, we're hacking the system. They're gonna find us.
I wonder if people are still doing
Hell
that.
yeah, they still
Think?
do that, man. Hell yeah. How do you think some people end up in badass schools? Verdugo
true.
Hills. I worked there for a bit. It's like you still do it. As if you show them a bill
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that goes there and
You're
stuff like
"Hey,
that.
This is where I live.
Or like that's where the charter schools come in, which technically like schools like Birmingham.
Yeah.
We're just name dropping schools right now. Birmingham is technically a charter school, so if
Mm.
you're able to apply to the school and they accept you, like you
Yeah.
can go there no matter if you don't live in the area.
Interesting.
But there's a lot of funds
Hoops
that are
you
pumped
gotta-
to that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, to that not movie. What might as well be a movie as good
Yeah.
as that school is,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's where they do, or they used to do, like the city track championships and all that
That is
stuff.
true. I remember. I
They have a
remember
really
hearing
good
about
sports
that.
facility.
Yeah.
You
It's big. It's big. I've been there a handful of times. It's a really nice school. It's a really nice school. I mean, it's a nice area too.
Yeah.
And obviously, like you said, it's a charter school, so of course there's gonna be funds for it and whatnot.
yeah. So it's like It sucks because depending where you grew up at or lived at, like that's the schools you're going to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it comes down to like probably a lot of our initial conversation. Sports, the exposure to sports. Like if your school didn't even have grass or nothing like that, you weren't really playing, or your PE was reduced. Which is like say schools like now, there's a lot of charter schools
Yeah.
that you're just a building.
Yeah.
There is no grass area. There's no basketball courts. Like
Yeah, that's something
that
that
stuff trips me out.
it's interesting that like a lot of extremely talented kids unfortunately will never make it. They might the next Messi or Ronaldo or LeBron James
Hmm.
might be living in your apartment
And you
complex.
don't even know,
But
man.
because of their shitty school system or because there's
Or
nobody
even,
listening
or
to
even,
them,
even just the community, man.
hmm
Sometimes like it's just rough in the community that you can't even be out there.
yeah, he can't go. They can't go
Or
practice.
like I'll tell, dude, I'll tell you the thing. Like when I was out working at the high schools out there in Compton and stuff, I was there for like 3 years. I didn't
Mhm.
realize till I was working there. A lot of these kids hadn't even left like Compton. Down
Oh,
to
they had never
Southgate.
left
Yeah,
Compton.
like down to Southgate, up a little bit north. Like they just in their little areas because like once again resources.
Oh
They
wow.
lack of car.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're going maybe for even people from our culture like just to the doctors.
yeah, yeah,
You're not really leaving your house.
yeah,
And then especially like say your legal standing too. Like you're not really out there like that.
yeah.
So like it's just a trip.
So
Like
there's no way for them to be like, hey, I'm
what's out
here.
there?
Like,
Yeah, like
look at
me.
me. I'm talented.
So when I was out there and I was fortunately I had the ability at that time to like I can rent out a van,
Hmm.
put 6 of my students in there, as
Yeah.
long as they sign permission slips with the school, if they were part of the school, if they were part of like my organization where I just like worked with them, like we didn't
Hmm.
need all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
And just put them in the car and like, okay, let's go play at the soccer complex in Southgate.
Yeah.
And we ran 5v5 or there was a point I put them in a it was the only way we can put them was in the adult league because we had two 18-year-olds.
Oh wow.
But you know what that meant? I can play.
I know, and I know you. You fucking play.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't gonna let these kids just out there with all those men. Like, someone had to like check those
Yeah,
fools.
that's true. No, that's true
But
because
it's hockey style, so it's like 5v5. So like
okay.
when you get tired, you sub.
You sub
It's
out, yeah, and you just
dude, it's
quick.
intense, bro. It's intense.
How long are the are? Is it like is it
20,
halves?
20, 25-minute
20,
halves.
25 minutes? Huh?
But you're probably in there for maybe like in total of each half, like 14 minutes if you're like good.
Yeah. Fuck. But it's funny because you say. Well, actually, first of all, let's rewind because I want to talk about the organization that. Do you still work for them?
Not anymore, but it's still a dope ass
Okay.
organization. Also shout them out, like
Yeah.
they're
No,
dope.
let's do it because I know you had worked with them for how many years?
3 years,
3 years.
till like maybe last August,
Yeah.
stuff like
And
that.
so
Yeah.
you were with them for 3 years, and I remember you telling me about them, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
I joined them. So the organization is a nonprofit called Shields for Families, and they're
Shields for families.
Shields for Families.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're based right there. I think it's like West Athens, at least where the admin building is.
Okay.
But Shields is everywhere, and
Mhm.
Spa Six. That's mainly where they operate. Spa Six. That's for people that know like spas. That's let's say south of the 10, east of the 110, and then
Okay.
in between the 710 to the 105.
Oh
Like
wow.
that's like spot 6. So everything encompassed within that. Like, and it might stretch or be a little bit less, but
Mhm.
like within that area, South LA
Mhm.
or parts of South LA. And they have stuff from substance abuse treatments, like in housing, like they actually have people there recovering.
Mhm.
They have where the part where I was more behavioral health or like in the therapy realm.
Mhm.
So they have therapists, psychologists, the whole
And this
thing.
is for adults or students?
Both,
For
both.
both.
It goes
Okay.
from the children, which is 0 to 5.
Oh
Yeah, there's a
wow.
0 to 5 program. Then there was a youth program, which I was in, which is
Mhm.
like 6 to 18, 17,
Mhm.
18. So I worked at the high school in the part of the youth program,
Yeah.
and then then after that there's
Yeah.
adult
Just the
mental health,
adults.
and they do have people working adult mental health. So
Wow.
I was fortunate enough that through where I'm at right now, I was coaching the
Yeah.
daughters of one of my good friends now too. David. I'm gonna shout him out. David's dope as
Yeah.
hell. David saw me here working with his kids, or like just the kids in general. It's like, dude, like I think you would be a good fit for this job. My job
Mhm.
was a case manager in
Okay.
mental health, so I was like the way I put it because the specific role I played, I was the in between the therapist, the kid, the family, the school, because my office was based in the school. Like I didn't really work for the school, but my office was in the school. I was right next to the principal.
Yeah.
So we provided. I was the in between, so more of a resource manager. What does the family slash the kid need? To me, it was kid and family, because if the
Right.
family is well with necessities, food, bills, like
Yeah. All of
whatever,
that affects the kid.
it affects a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you start really thinking of all the pieces that really impact the mental health of anybody, or at
Mm-hmm.
least in this specific case, the kid.
Yeah.
So I was that person, So as sometimes you play therapist, other times you're the friend.
Mm.
Sometimes depending, because my students were high school, you were the enforcer of rules, and
Mm-hmm.
it sucks because like that's in a row of mental health. You're not supposed to be doing that stuff, but
Yeah.
like the connection you build with people after 3 years, the freshmen, like we were talking, like
Yeah.
that's how I got them, freshmen. So by the time I left, they graduated, most
Mm-hmm.
of them. The
Wow.
other chunks are gonna graduate
That's good,
this year,
man.
but that's the work I got to do, man, and it was
Mm-hmm.
really cool because it went from exposing kids to sports or just leaving the area. Let's go on a hike in Palos Verdes, like
Mm-hmm. See something that's
yeah, let's
not
go.
fucking
Yeah,
your usual
for
stuff.
real, and stuff like that, or like bringing after school activities like we did before. Like I got that job right before, like
Okay. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
were working together in the after
Mm-hmm.
school program, so we knew how to run after school programs. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
let's implement an after school program. Let's do
Yeah.
basketball. Let's do soccer. The teachers and our therapists also wanted to do, because say in our case we had to do what were called groups,
Mm-hmm.
but groups can go anything from art, enrichment,
Mm-hmm.
like a talking group, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever kind of group you want to build, but there's a purpose to it. So in my case,
Yeah.
like I'm the sports guy.
Yeah.
I like sports. It keeps me entertained too. After being inside an office all day or in a
Yeah.
school,
You
I
get
was
to go
like,
out, breathe some
yeah,
fresh
and
air.
even scientifically, like exercising and doing that stuff releases dopamine, which
Yep.
dopamine, it's a feel good chemical,
Yep.
and it's just probably one of the healthiest ways to get a good shot of dopamine, make
Yeah.
you feel good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for unfortunately students that are dealing in where I was at Compton, man, like the specific school I was working at, it wasn't the regular high school. It was a charter school. But this charter school, when I first got there, I want to say this specifically. When I first got there, it was more of the continuation school. Like people went there because
Mm.
you either got kicked out of the other
Or they
school, or
dropped out.
you dropped out,
Mm-hmm.
you were on stuff, like you got pregnant, like the spread.
Yeah.
That was when I first got there, around 2017. And then as the years went by, it was more of like the kids in the community that were like, you know what, I don't want to go, I don't want to go to the big high school because
Yeah.
like, dude, once, and when the schools do it right, and I'm gonna say this like I should, because I've worked at public schools now, I've worked at charter schools,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have the ability to work at a private school, which is the first time.
Yeah.
So we can talk about the differences, that I've seen too, which is a trip, bro. Especially after us working with kids, and
Yeah.
but
Talk about that. Talk about what's like the main difference that you see between all of them, or like what's the one that really separates? Like, damn, this what this school gets. If all these other schools had this,
yeah,
they would be so much better off.
I think at the end of the day, and it's not to put it on the specific school, because like I'm not gonna say where the school I'm working at is
Yeah. Yeah. No.
located,
That's yeah.
but they're well off, So at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
it comes down to resources.
Mm-hmm.
If any school, federally, locally, private sector, people donated money to schools,
Yeah.
schools would have all kinds of high tech shit, man,
Yeah.
and which makes learning more engaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's probably the biggest game changer.
Mm-hmm.
That, or like even in this specific case, reopening schools, right? The lack of resources is going to change how you open your school. Like
Right.
how much are you going to have hand sanitizer dispensers? How many around the school?
Are
In
you
the
gonna have enough?
classroom, enough, like
Mm-hmm.
dividers for the kids. How much are you going to open up space? Like when we went to high school, there was 30 plus in the classroom to
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
You can't do that now. Well, according to CDC, you can now be within 3 feet from each other. So
Yay.
yeah, let's see how that goes, right?
Yeah.
But get vaccinated, everybody, please.
Yeah. Please, very important. Very important.
Yeah, and no,
So
but
resources is the main
resources,
thing.
because it's mainly the money. If you have money, you can invest in the technology. Now they have the smart boards. They're not. If you're on the chalkboard and the regular boards, that already says that you're behind
Yeah.
compared
Wow.
to where. And that's been at the charter school I was at. They already had smart boards. That's how I learned how to use them.
What's explain what a smart board is?
A smart board pretty much is like a projector, but it's also like the way I think of it is like those things you see like at Disneyland. Like you use something on a regular projector board, like it's not even a screen, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll match it up. So you can project something from the side on your Elmo, and Elmo is like the projectors are from back in the day, like the reflecting ones, but
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
more
yeah.
tech ones, and you connect that to the smart board, so then it gives you the image,
Oh,
and then
okay.
it's almost like it's interactive, so you don't even need
Oh,
to erase it. It's just a fake pen,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
just
It's all a
it's up
simulation.
yeah, it's a simulation and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and then you move to the next thing, and then
Oh, okay.
depending on if you have it on your computer versus the Elmo, like depending what's connected to the smart board, that's the interactiveness that you get. Because if it's on
Oh,
your
okay.
computer, then you can swipe the board and it just goes to the next slide.
Uh-huh.
Like you get me things like that.
So that is obviously way more advanced than a chalkboard.
A chalk. Well, if you still have a chalkboard, I don't know where your school's at, but there might be. But at least the whiteboards, that's the
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
thing. There was the whiteboards that.
Yeah.
But once I got to the other school, it was a combo of whiteboard with
Mm-hmm.
smartboard. But it was up to you as the instructor, which I also was fortunate to teach classes
Yeah.
too. How did you interact with the students? Or
Mm.
the use of space, which
Ah,
is another
man.
trip.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, and then we can start wrapping it up, soon, but
What up to you, man.
yeah.
I'm to your
Well,
disposal.
because I still wanna come back and talk to you
Yeah, yeah,
again, and obviously we could talk about a lot of different things. Because on our rides to our old job where we
yeah,
used to work at together, we would talk a lot about, like catch up and like recent news and blah 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 and all
yeah.
that shit. So I know we could talk about for like anything forever.
A lot of
But
different
you
topics,
you got
man.
to leave them wanting more. Got to leave them wanting
Oh,
a little bit more
definitely,
Casimiro.
definitely. Ooh, gosh.
But so I wanted to mention that I'm glad you brought that up because I remember when we were working at the same elementary school. Um, you you mentioned something earlier that was interesting that you played like you wore many hats
Yeah.
at Shields, right?
At Shields too, yeah.
Sometimes you were like the mentor, sometimes you were the friend, sometimes you were the enforcer, the disciplinarian,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And I don't think people realize that, you know, the teachers and the staff at your kids' elementary school, they in a way have to be their second parents.
They
Or they
are
are. They are.
the second
That's
parents.
what they
They're
are.
with these kids. Like let's go back to pre-COVID, or
Yeah.
even like with COVID, with Zooming and stuff. Like you're still with those kids for 5 to 7 hours almost. Like some
Yeah.
people almost even 8. Because if you're in that elementary school, like the staff doesn't rotate. You
Yeah.
have that one set of kids for the whole day.
Yeah.
It's not till like middle school, high school that you rotate teachers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, after you see different cultures and stuff like that, it sucks how undervalued teachers are.
Yeah.
Especially I'm in the system myself, but hopefully things change with what's about to happen. Because
Yeah.
you just don't want to send your kids wherever. You want to make sure they're safe. And those are
Yeah.
combos I hear out there, like, oh, I'm not gonna send my kids back. But it's like, okay, but then you're gonna keep them at home, depending
Yeah.
on your child. Like some of them do better at school versus some do better at home.
Yeah.
But why doesn't that mean we can do both now?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it have to be? Especially schools are smart. They should be like, okay, we want to do remote learning, then stay to
Yeah.
remote learning. We already
Yeah.
have the system for it,
Yeah.
and then you want to come in. We'll figure this one out.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, that stuff is interesting. Like, just it sets precedent. Like, hey, we've kind of figured out how to do it. Was it effective for everybody? No, but there were some people that, hey, you know what? They were able to still keep with their academics.
yeah.
Obviously, the main component missing there is the interpersonal skills that kids develop within each other, which you cannot replace
Yeah, and that's the thing I've been
online.
seeing here, man. So
Hmm.
because of COVID, and I know we're wrapping it up, but at least because of where we're at the First Impression like dance studio,
That is true. Shout out First Impression.
First Impression dance
Beautiful
studio
studio. Thank you for letting us for
yeah,
borrow it. We'll make sure that we link you guys. We let people know
yeah.
to come here.
First Impression, you can find them if you put First Impression on Google. They're the first ones to pop up on anything. You put gym, in Google, like
And
it's
you'll
gonna
see
be
Josemar's face.
maybe if you go down to First Impression, my face might be there,
It should be.
but it should be. It's been associated at least with them for since 2010 when I really
Yeah.
started working with them. But like, yeah, man, during the whole pandemic, once things started getting better, let's say Mayish, I feel like after the first shutdown got lifted,
Yeah.
people wanted to have their kids do stuff. Schools were
Mhm.
closed. There was no sports. That's where these like outdoor classes started happening. The one-on-one started kicking
Mhm.
off, because
Yeah.
people wanted one kind of be away from people, but I want the space,
Yeah.
and you start seeing it with the little ones because they started to, I call it the toddlers tumbling. That's what they call it, but it's
Mhm.
mainly like 3 to 5. But that's what you start seeing with a lot of that age group, which is like some of these kids haven't seen other kids, and you don't realize that till then, or other people. Like I have
Yeah.
a 3-year-old. Yeah, she's 3. She came in today for the second time. Today with dad. Last time was with like her uncle and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But as I'm seeing the girls like slowly like, like just being less shy.
Yeah.
But from what I'm talking to the parents, they haven't seen another family in a
Forever.
year, other people
Yeah.
in a year,
Wow.
or that two, she would have been 2 going on 3. So
Yeah.
that's when you start like at least the kids start becoming more conscious and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So like I get that lack of like say social skills, or like once you get a little bit older and the kids that haven't been to kindergarten yet,
Yeah.
and they don't know like don't be a dick, like
Yeah.
but you
Cover
learn,
your mouth when you
yeah,
cough.
or not just cough, like just things you tell people,
Yeah.
like
Don't
like
be brutally honest with people all the
yeah,
time.
so those are things you learn in
Yeah.
school, like, oh, you can't say those things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like cuss words. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow, that was very honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a ball with the little ones because they're
Yeah.
the ones that are most
They're
honest. They
honest
say
about
the
everything.
funniest things, so
And they feel no remorse for it. They're just like,
because they've done nothing
Mr.
wrong.
Josemar, why do you look like that?
Yeah, I get
Your hair looks weird.
the funny one I get. The funny one I get now, because like obviously I've been wearing the mask for like almost a year now, so
Yeah.
all they see is like the eyes,
The eyes. Uh
But when it's like take the sip of water, and then you're with the little kids, are like they just start laughing. I have these 2 girls that just, I was like, we're laughing. I was like, you have a beard. I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
okay,
Yeah.
but it's entertaining to them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fun. The little ones. I do miss a
It's
lot of the
fun.
little ones from our old job.
Yeah.
But
So
kids are a ball, dude. And obviously, like we kind of went into that without explaining. Josemar is a dance coach, and or what's the official title?
that's the crazy part, because now as a coach, my coach, it's always been this, but I think now that it's becoming more, it's a brand maybe in a way,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just being out there, the type of coaching I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't do just dance. I did dance at where I was working at. I was
Yep.
working with like a pom team. Here
Mm-hmm.
at First Impression, I worked with cheer teams from like 2010 to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've done quinceañeras,
Mm-hmm.
like everywhere. But that's at least when it comes to like dancing, the
Yeah.
dance coaching. I've coached soccer since I was like 14, starting at the AYSO.
Mm-hmm.
When I was at Marshall, I was helping coach the King team
Yeah.
back then. Once we left Marshall, we helped coach the Marshall team because our
Yeah.
friends started coaching,
Yeah.
or at least with our other like our former high school coach, like he let us like kind of help out and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I've been coaching
Track and field as
track
well.
and field. I just no, I'm lucky and fortunate enough to start working with a youth track and field team.
Mhm.
But I coach track and field at Verdugo Hills High School, and we
Yeah.
changed that whole program up.
Yeah.
So I coach multiple sports, but my forte for sure would be soccer, track, and like at least gymnastics, the tumbling part, and I don't consider myself a good cheerleader. Like I wasn't really a cheerleader, but you as a coach, or the type of training I do or went to school for, like you see movements
Yeah.
and you have to replicate certain movements, or like positionings, and you have to build certain strengths to do certain moves. And
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, you have to train the body to do X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
But that's why I would always tell like my students when they were younger, I was like, I'm training you guys to be athletes. You
Mhm.
guys can go do anything outside of here. You guys are probably gonna be good at it because they were fast, they were strong, they
Mhm.
had the jumps, like their verticals were insane. Like you don't talk about vertical jump and like cheer unless like you're thinking the science of it, but
Yeah.
like it's insane. Like we're getting so much height. Like if you ever see a tumbler like tumble on a track, like yes, there's spring floors, but the amount of spring they get off of one punch is
It's
insane.
ridiculous.
So like people take that for granted. I think California now considers cheerleading a sport.
Oh no way.
Yeah, at least as of like 2 years ago, maybe
Oh,
two,
that's
3 years
dope.
ago. And then cheerleading was supposed to be in the next Olympics.
Mhm. Oh.
Yeah, which is gonna be interesting how they do it. I would think something similar to like maybe ice skating, because it's a scoring system. So I
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see.
Probably it's like
It's a judging system, so it's
Yeah.
not like but we go back to sports. Oh, I make a basket and
It's a point.
I win. No, it's like my routine has to be judged by these 5, 10 individuals, and
Yeah.
they're the one that pick the champion.
I can already hear a lot of drama and conspiracy behind that.
Especially in the Olympics.
Oh,
Like who gets
hell
the
yeah.
gold? But pre-Olympics, that competition already exists. It's called Worlds. It happens every year
Oh, okay.
in Florida, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best of the best in the world. It's like Team USA, Team Mexico, Team Japan.
Yeah.
They go out there and they fucking kill it. They kill it like it's crazy.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but once again, that's the cheer world.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I back to my titling. I would just say sports coach. You know, that's the biggest thing because my hands are everywhere.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, when
yeah.
it comes to at least coaching people, and I keeps me busy.
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff I like doing, and if somehow I can have an impact on the community, because I'm not really going outside of the community to coach. You know, I'm
Yeah.
bringing the coaching to the community. And where
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
at, we're based out here in Elysian Valley, so
Mhm.
fortunately, Elysian Valley has gotten a little more prosperous over time. Good for them, but for the
Yeah.
people that are still here, but some people got displaced.
Yeah.
You know, so over the last 10 years, like before that, like it was people from the community were coming in either from Silver Lake, Los Feliz, and
Glendale and
Glendale, and all that stuff. But you go look at other teams in the area; they're charging an arm and a leg just to have your student in there a month, even during
yeah.
the pandemic, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, there's teams charging over hundreds of dollars per month even during this pandemic, just so you can get their training. And don't get me wrong, their training is amazing. They're some of the best in the country, you know, or SoCal, whatever you want to say. But for some of these teams in the area,
Like you gotta have deep
some
pockets.
of my former like students or like
Mhm.
people I still kind of coach for from their gyms and stuff,
Yeah.
like they're there, you know, but they outreach. But unfortunately, like the capacity of this
Yeah,
gym, and
yeah.
they're kicking ass. But you know, but it's like I feel here where we're at, we provide quality training for
Yeah.
like a very affordable price,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, and like as you can see, like we're fortunate enough to have a studio. You know, we started at the local elementary school. Or
Yeah.
not we, honestly, this is not even me. I need to shout out the director, the owner of First
Give her
Impression.
props, Mike. I
No,
give
no,
her props.
Norma Ruiz. You've met Norma.
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
amazing.
she's amazing. She's an amazing being. Like, forget me. Like her brand, the First Impression. I don't think really people don't even know her as Norma. They know her as Miss Ruiz
Mhm.
because same thing, just like us. She was in the school system for
Yeah.
the last. I don't. We want. Let's just say decades to help her out, right? But
Let's be
that's what
nice.
happens once you're in. Dude, we're about to be at, in my case, like 2 decades. Like you
Yeah.
get me being in the school system
Yeah.
too. It just happens like that.
Yeah.
But the type of training, the art of drill team, dance, cheer that she provided to the community,
Yeah.
she propelled them into these. Let's give you the exposure to the competitions, right? When
Mhm.
I was still here, my last year, we went all the way to Florida. We
Mhm.
went to Disney World to compete,
Mhm.
and we won. Like my team won. Like we
Yeah.
fucking got lucky.
First place.
You know, like it's a trip because you come out here, and don't get me wrong, there was competitions we weren't hitting at the time too, but that one specific one, we went to Disney World. It was like for me, it was like I knew at the time it was my last big one
Yeah.
or my last year coaching. Technically, that was our first competition. That's how we
Oh
started the
wow.
year, that year,
Oh
because
man.
we were on. Unfortunately, and it's I can't explain it all too much. The season they have here is not correlated with other cheer or dance seasons.
Yeah.
So that was February is like the end of cheer season. So for
Mhm.
us, that was like the beginning of our season because we go February through June.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
where other
that's a
teams
good
go like
stretch.
November through February.
Uh-huh.
You get me?
So it's shorter.
Not
Wait, is it?
shorter. Well, they can still keep going, but it's
Mhm.
just like the big competitions
Oh,
happen in
okay.
that time because if you look into it, man, once you're really good and you start doing kicking ass at these other competitions, like the
Mhm.
bigger ones, people pay you to go to Florida. Like you
Oh
get
wow.
money here. Here's your money. You won this competition. Now you have half of what you need to go to Florida for free, and then that's when it becomes like this challenge of teams because you don't even have to get in SoCal. You could go to Nevada, Arizona,
Mhm.
Utah to go get that what they call a bid,
Mhm.
you know, and that free money if your team's good enough.
Damn.
So it's a trip.
There's
Like
there's a lot to that. Like just in general, that the cheer world that I'm glad we touched on it
yeah,
because I do want to bring you back and dive in deeper to that because that is a fascinating world that I think people don't understand or they have like the usual misconceptions, which is
yeah.
like bring it on, like
Yeah,
movies like
and
that.
there's different kinds of cheer, you know, and to me it was a trip because like I was raised by women, you know, I
Hmm.
was raised by women. Like I think there was very little male figures in our family and even in my life at that time.
Yeah,
So I was always taught to respect women, you know.
yeah,
So whenever you know people at that time when I started like coaching cheer, like it was a lot of like that, like we're gonna coach or we're gonna do cheerleading to cheer for the boys. And I
hmm,
was just like, is that really what you want your daughter to do? Like
yeah,
cheer for the boys? Like I know
yeah,
they're gonna get good, but like to me that concept of cheerleading, like I was like, I don't know, it's kind of degrading to the girls because the
yeah,
girls are badass. Like, and I say this all the time, like girls and boys before like 12 or 13, like the girls tend to be stronger and faster than the boys.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
You coach the sports too. Like you would have amazing third grade shortstop, and it was a girl, and she was just
And they're kicking ass and like
pitching the
more
whole thing.
better than kids that are
Yeah,
2 years older
yeah.
than her.
So to me, it was just like when I started coaching the girls here, it was like I'll make them badass athletes,
Yeah.
you know. But it comes a lot of that where people have the conception of, oh, like cheer, or now it's a different, because it's like they come and they see this, like, oh shit, like this is what we get to do. Or even here at the own studio, once they see the other teams perform,
Yeah.
it's like they just kind of bring their kids to, like, oh, let me bring them to practice. But when they see what the other kids are doing that have been practicing for a long time, or they invest in the tumbling or the extra tumbling,
Mm-hmm.
or let's just say the extra training, because it's not just tumbling, it's
Yeah.
extra
It's a lot of
training.
different things.
They see us like, damn, my kid can be doing that. And
And then in comes Coach Josemar. You want to be a superstar athlete? You're at the right place.
yeah, no, for real. And like, I, not to toot my own horn at this point, I think I just realized, like, I fortunately I've been blessed enough to be here, get the opportunity to be here, and through it, like, I became a good coach, you know, because early 2010 Coach Josemar is different than 2021 Coach Josemar, you know. Back then
Yeah.
it was more like, yes, it was win driven, but like getting there, the road there was a lot tougher,
Mm-hmm.
you know. It was more grind it out,
Yeah.
down, where now it's like, yeah, we're gonna grind it out, but I'm not as douchey.
Nah, I wouldn't say douchey because your coaching style, and I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Like it's very, it used to be very like old school, like
Yeah.
old school coaching,
Yeah.
like no bullshit, no BS. I don't want to hear you cry and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like,
We don't baby our kids.
yeah,
That's
we
what we
don't
say
baby
here.
our
We don't
kids.
baby our kids.
And I honestly love that mentality. Me personally, if I ever got into coaching, I would be that kind of like Old Testament
Yeah.
semi type of coach, like lay it fucking down,
Yeah.
stop crying, whatever. But no, dude, you deserve every single accolade that you've gotten. You've earned it because
Thank
I
you.
know the kind of I've obviously worked with you for like 2 years, and within that small time frame, I've seen the kind of leader that you are,
Thank
and I
you.
know that your leadership like goes down into the kids, and then they absorb all of that.
And that's the goal, man. Because as people, you know, we went through the school system ourselves.
Yeah.
After school, whatever you stayed in, like, who are the people hanging out with you? You know, type of
Mhm.
thing. Who are the people? Who are your teachers? Who are your coaches? You know.
Yeah.
So to me, I take that to heart, because I remember my coaches. I'm still cool with one of them. Like,
Yeah.
shit, we go down to Mexico once a year now, like down to Yucatan. You know. So it's
Who?
like,
Navarro?
no, Viana, Coach Viana.
Oh,
Coach
okay,
Viana,
okay.
he was a
The
track coach. He was
track
track
coach.
coach back when I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
doing track. I did
Shout out
track.
Viana, dog.
Yeah, now he's at Verdugo's Hills. He allowed me to help him coach at Verdugo
That's
Hills.
dope.
And my best friend is his compadre, who's also
Mhm.
my age, you know. So it's like, but that's how cool we are, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
coaches.
yeah.
Miss Ruiz or Norma, like from here, like she's the first person to give me a job in
Yeah.
the LA's best system, the after school system, you know.
Mhm.
She gave me my second job here at First Impression,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. So it's just like those things, your coaches really are impactful. So
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
it's like, if I'm gonna have these kids for X amount of time, because some of them is a little bit longer than others, or even in the school system as a TA, as a teacher, whatever, like they're gonna remember this.
Yeah.
One way or
Yeah.
another, is it gonna be a positive experience, negative experience? If you don't remember me, cool. But if you remember me, then hopefully I was saying the right things. You know, especially when I was at Shields and stuff, because they were high school kids. Like, I think the thing that made me successful there was I wasn't like the other staff that was a little bit older. Like, I was only 10 years older than them. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, my thing was like, dude, I was sitting in that chair 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Like, less than 10 years ago, I was in that chair. You
Mhm.
get me?
Yeah.
And I'm here now. Let me help you get out of school. You don't want to go to college? Let me hook you up with a job.
Yeah.
Let me help you get, you know, like, because some different cultures, experiences where you're at, like, you don't have that help,
Yeah.
you know. Or in our case, because I know you are too, you're first generation here.
Yeah.
We didn't have someone who paved the road before us. It was like our parents were not from here. We have to assimilate to the culture. Both, you know, you have to still
Yeah.
do the Spanish thing. You have to not get made fun of
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of,
yeah.
you know, your how can I say, your, not your language, your
Accent?
accent.
Yeah.
You know, so it takes time to mask the accent, or depending on the location you're in, then you bring it back
Yeah.
out again. You know, you talk with your Salvi people, you talk different than you talk to the Spanish, you know.
Yeah.
So I think first generation people of all cultures have a different experience than the
Oh,
second,
yeah.
third, you know. or even the people that came here just to come to the States for the first time. Like,
Yeah.
they left their country to go live in another country
Yeah.
and settle. Like, that shit to me is like,
It's mind
you
boggling.
know, when you really think about it, you
Yeah.
know, like when it's like when people talk about your story,
Yeah.
you know, what's your story gonna be?
Yeah.
You know, I know people the and then it comes back to the nicknames and stuff like that. Each nickname has his own ego.
Yeah.
You know, Coach Josemar has his own ego. Gassi
His own
has his own
personality.
ego.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Josemar is probably the most calm person,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
the more grounded one.
The
You know,
neutral.
the neutral, or
Yeah.
I wouldn't say neutral, it's just more grounded,
Mm-hmm.
because the other nicknames or personalities are depending which one you're talking to. Because there's even a sports one, you know, and that's I think that's
Oh,
where
I know.
Cassie. I think that's more
where
the
Cassie comes out?
That's where Cassie comes in. Like, at least if I can link them, like
Yeah. He said if I can link.
it's like, to me it's like, and at that time it didn't have a name,
Yeah.
but now the closest thing I can think of it, and I'm not even associating myself to him like that because I could never.
Yeah.
Mamba mentality.
Oh.
When you shift into a Mamba mentality,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you do things that are greater than what your body can do.
Yeah.
And that's the trip.
And that's the embodiment of Josemar right there. That is who Josemar is as a whole, because Josemar is part Kasi, part Coach J, right?
Yeah.
So, man, thank you once again for coming.
Oh,
Man.
thank you for having me, man.
Inspirational talk,
This has
dude.
been fun. I'm happy that this is inspirational, because to me it's just like, dude, like, we're just living. You get
Yeah.
me? And it's like, what have we learned along the way?
Yeah.
What
And what can we give
and
back?
what can we give back to
to
the
other people?
community or families?
Mhm.
Because sometimes it's even our families that we have to teach.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely, without a doubt.
But thank you, man.
I want to thank you, dog, for coming on here. Obviously, I want to get you back. You know, if we can keep recording here,
Hey,
that would be dope.
I'm
I'd love
pretty.
it here,
I'm pretty
to be
sure you
honest.
can, man. Like,
We'll-
we've
we're
talked before this. Like, the availability for the spaces here, and this is only one room.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. You guys are seeing a part of it. Like, this is a gigantic room, and there's another
and even for
area over there.
people
Huh?
listening, watching, man. Once things get better, like, this is an amazing dance hall. Like,
Yeah.
back pre-COVID, when I graduated from college, like, I
Mhm.
had a party for 250 people here, bro.
Hey, there you go.
That party was insane. But that's like quinceañera size. But when you think about it in this room, it's like, okay, 5 tables over there, 5
Yeah.
tables over here, 3 over there,
The
and
dance
then,
floor
and
is
then
like-
the dance floor, and then the outside. You know.
Yeah,
But
it's a good spot. It's a good
yeah,
spot.
and then just the outside itself is twice the size of the, maybe a little bit twice the size of this room. Which
Yeah.
now we use it for the marketplace event. I'm gonna plug one more, Frogtown Marketplace.
Do it,
Check it
do it.
out. You know,
Do they have an Instagram page?
Frogtown Marketplace.
Frogtown Market?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna tag them in our. So we post them on Instagram.
Yeah.
We'll tag all of their
Yeah.
ads on
At
Instagram.
Frogtown Marketplace is the marketplace that you hear once a month at
Uh-huh.
First Impression or in the Frogtown area, and you have vendors from the area, some from outside of the area, and mom and pop. You know, I
Yeah.
think if COVID showed me everything, was reallocating my resources.
Yeah.
Right? Who is my money going to? Is it going to Jeff Bezos?
Is it
Or
going
is it
to
going,
McDonald's?
you know, and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So that kind of stuff, you know, and I'm happy to be part of that because I'm the one at the door checking people's stamps. I'm helping keep people safe because, you
Yeah.
know, at the end of the day, I don't want people to come here and it's like, oh my God, there was a super spreader event.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Come on, no, mom.
Don't want that right now.
We're not doing that. We're gonna take care of
Yeah.
our people. Luckily, we haven't had incidents about people not wanting to mask up, like none
Yeah.
of that stuff. So
That's good.
Frogtown Marketplace, at First Impression, 1ST, you know,
Let's
their
go.
dance teams and stuff like that. Like, check them out and just exposure to
Yeah.
all that stuff. You know, the dance world.
Yeah.
I do have an Instagram too, at least the
Plug-
professional
plug it,
one.
plug it.
Is at Coach Josemar.
We're gonna
That's with
plug
2
you in.
E's. Joseemar.
Joseemar.
M-A-R. Yeah, my name's a
M-A-R.
little, and you know, same thing. Back to assimilating and stuff. My name's Joseemar,
Yeah.
but you know that's you don't want to be called Josie in school. So be Josemar, you know.
Just be Josemar.
Yeah, and you know the crazy part that my kindergarten teacher is the one that said it like that the first time, and I was like, hey, that kind of
works.
that kind of works and it's simple, you know. Or now when I say it, oh, like, what's your name? Josemar. People think my last name is Mar. I was like, who
Oh.
introduces themselves saying their full name? You know, hi, my
That's your-
name's
Heldon Boney.
yeah, you
or
know,
whatever.
yeah.
Jeff
You know, usually
Bezos.
say your
You say your first name. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
that
but
makes sense.
so I had like parents back in the high schools calling me Mr. Mar,
Oh, wow, that's
or
embarrassing.
or like now like they'll call
Coach
me like
Mar.
Jose, you know, and then nothing against the
Mhm.
name Jose, but like mine has just a little extra.
It's a little unique.
Yeah,
it's
just
good.
a little
Flex it,
something.
flex it
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
like even like when my Instagram is not Jose because I'm not.
Oh, okay,
fucking
that makes
Jose.
sense now. Okay, I was like, not Jose. I was like, oh, I was confused but now I know the history behind
Well,
it.
yeah, because like I get called Jose so much. It's like,
Yeah.
no, my name's not Jose.
Not
It's
Jose.
Josemar. So
Coach
it's my so
Joseemar.
so
Joseemar.
EEMAR. Yeah.
The one and only, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, bro. I really
No,
appreciate
thank
you
you,
once
thank
again
you.
for coming on.
Blessed to see you again.
It was lovely to see you again. I know we didn't talk too much before because I wanted to catch up here, but obviously we still have a lot more to catch
much.
up, and I still want to get you back.
Let's do
Obviously, I
it.
would love to have you back.
Whenever
So
we
once
can.
again, Coach Josemar, the one and only.
Can I finally look?
Yes, you can look at
Can
the
I
camera.
finally look?
Yes,
All
you
right.
can look at the
It's
camera.
been so hard, not like because I know you get the ability to. Like I can. I can. But yeah, no, it's cool to at least.
That's him, handsome man,
Oh, thank you.
and he's
Thank
single.
you. No. Oh.
I'm just
Whoa.
saying.
I have to say
Oh.
it. I know it's a
Oh.
trip because normally I have,
Wow.
But yeah, I think in this last 2020, it's been a year now. March came back around again, so it's a trip, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something we can catch up on the side. But unfortunately, not single right now. Not unfortunately, I'm happy. I'm
There you
happy.
go. There you go.
I'm
Good.
happy.
Good. There.
Yeah, because if you're in a relationship, you're not happy. Then why are you in that relationship?
Exactly.
Right? That's something being in a relationship has showed me. Right?
Boom. Facts. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Once again, my name is Usika. This has been the Necked Out Podcast. We will see you guys next time. Peace.